This is Education Without Borders. In this episode, we are going to learn about how generative AI can be useful not just for students, but also for teachers. Generative AI, as we know it, is that part of AI that is able to interpret very many things in data, images, information, and typical examples is Chat, GPT, DeepSeek, and so on, which are very common among students. But we want to ask ourselves, why should these generative AIs be only useful to students? And we know they were created to help make life easier for humanity. Indeed, intelligence is not just for students, it's also for teachers and everybody else who interacts with information. So it's the high time that teachers also needed to be aware that this technology is available for all of us. So I want to talk about this topic within the context of an initiative that was rolled out 1 year ago by a faculty of engineering in one of the universities, top universities in Kenya, and it was abbreviated or had an acronym FUBU, FUBU, for us, by us. And what motivated this initiative was the realization that there are very many problems that sometimes we throw to other people. We remove the responsibility from ourselves. And if there's a problem amongst us, within this context, let me talk about students. There's a tendency to just blame the government, the administration, the management. In other words, to blame others without offering any solution. And I would like to believe that generative AIs were made or created by the developers and after motivation by certain problems. So even in a local context, for us, by us, we need to continue with that initiative and ask ourselves, how can generative AI help us solve some of our problems? Just a recap, FUBU, within the last 1 year, engaged students to identify problems that they encounter within the environment they are in, the infrastructure, the water quality, for example, the hostel accommodation conditions, and they were able to do research within their final year project that was addressing a problem. And that was a very good example of how students are able to identify the problems and own the solutions. That research, the output came out, and it was shared with the management, with the quality management, so that it can inform policy decision. It was also shared to the administrators that it can help even with the budgeting, because sometimes you budget based on imaginations, but when you put projects on the ground with the problems that nagging students and stakeholders, you are able to come up with solutions, and those solutions need resources. That is one output for the last 1 year that for us, by us, was able to achieve. FUBU was also able to achieve utilizing the human resource and the capacity available to undertake research activities and data collection. And that was a part of capacity building or skills building in the area of research. Therefore, FUBU, for us, by us, 1 year down the line, has had 2 deliverables which are going to be used by management for policy decision and for budgeting purposes. Let's move for the same concept forward. This year, for us, by us, as I have said in my introduction, it is not just for students. How about the teachers? What are the main problems that lecturers at institutions of higher education find nagging? From the experience I've had, and also after interacting with the lecturers, there is a nagging issue of cheating in examinations. And it is dubbed cheating because on the examination script, there is a clear instruction, and the very first instruction is mobile phones, iPads, electronic gadgets, and any material that can assist and is relevant to the examination is not allowed in the examination room. That is instruction number 1. But alas, you'll find every time at the end of every examination, you may find 1 or 2 students being flagged out. And in the last 1 month, the experience has been that 100% of the students who were flagged out was because they were caught with their mobile phones, either on their laps or somewhere under the desk, and they were open, and the page that was open was one of the generative AIs, specifically either DeepSeek or Chat GPT. What does this mean? This means that this generative AI is a tool that students use to help them in their studies. So in one way, it is a good thing. Unfortunately, when exams are set, you find that they may not have captured the aspect of a student being assisted by AI in their assessment. Whose problem is it? Is it the problem of the student, or of the teacher, or of the curriculum? I would say maybe yes, maybe no, maybe all, maybe none. But there is a problem. The bottom line is there is a problem that needs to be solved. So for us, by us, we have a problem and we need to get a solution. And I'm here, therefore, in this Education Without Borders, to suggest a solution to the perennial problem of students cheating in exams because they were tempted to bring along with them their mobile phone on which they have downloaded and generative AI to assist them answer the question. So I would suggest that the teacher is also partially to blame because the teacher has not identified what the root cause of the problem could be. The root cause could be that maybe we have not moved at the same pace with technology. It is a high time that we need to move at the same pace. And when we set our exams, have this in mind, that there is a possibility that this material that we are examining is already uploaded in the cloud and anybody can access it, including Chat GPT, DeepSeek, and the other generative AIs which scavenge information that is already uploaded. What do we do then? What do we do? Do we abandon class and say, okay, let the generative AIs do the teaching and we walk away? Do we do that? I dare say no, we can't do that. But we can identify that as one of the projects that students need to work on together with their teachers. In this year, this academic year that we are moving into, I have suggested that we work as groups of students who will come up with an app or an AI agent that helps the teacher to mark the examination. And within the scripts, within the marking scheme, there should be an element of asking that AI to disclose what's the percentage of the help that the student has had. So we are going to propose and we are going to launch a project whereby we use the same generative AI to help us come up with a tool to help the teacher mark the exam. After all, if the student's work is being made easy, the teacher's work also needs to be made easy. And in this project, we are going to input that element of asking that AI to disclose how much. And depending on the standards that have been set and the policy, the AI policy, there is a threshold below which anybody should be expected to be assisted by AI. What am I saying? I'm saying we have a problem here with us and there is a solution. We'll use the same students that we blame for using generative AI. We'll use the same methodologies, the same technology to help us come up with an app that helps the teacher to mark examinations. Don't go away in this Education Without Borders, where we want to bring on board the student, the teacher, and the generative AI so that we agree these are the standards, these are the boundaries. We shall be back. So we are back in the generative AI that we are talking about, or we can just maybe give example of Chat GPT that is helping our students to just come to class. Unfortunately, because the examination has not been set with that in mind, you'll find it very difficult to fully involve generative AI because it's a physical, especially when it's a physical examination. Chat GPT works with the prompts. You have to key in, ask a question, then it surfs the internet, scavages all over, looks for whatever information, and then you're supposed to maybe physically copy. You'll find that activity, you'll be very lucky not to be caught. It will compromise your education and you will be thrown out, you delay, you go through disciplinary because you are also not synchronized with the processes. So in this Education Without Borders episode, we want to ask ourselves, how can we have a sitting, the student, the teacher, the Chat GPT, we agree, the three of us, how are we going to work together? This is Education Without Borders, where we are solving a problem for us, by us, FUBU episode 2, and we want AI to be a partner in our teaching, learning, administration, examination, setting examination, and packing and marking. Thank you very much for watching this episode as we navigate around FUBU. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and following and sharing. We shall be back with more episodes very soon.